Hello there, I'm Maria Watson and I've created you a job search Trello board. And in this video I wanted to show you around the board, give you a few tips for using it if you haven't used Trello before. And then I'm just going to show you how to use Trello itself a little bit. Trello is a project management tool that you can use to organise absolutely anything. So as we're doing now, you can organise your job searches, make sure that everything's in one place. You can keep track of everything so it doesn't feel overwhelming and nothing gets missed, so you don't forget anything. But you can use it if you're within work, within running a business. You can use it for stuff at home, for, if you do any voluntary projects, anything that you're working on. It's a really great tool to organise it, get everything out of your head and keep it all tidy and organised. So firstly, I'll show you around this board and just explain the basics of a Trello board. So I'm in a Trello board here. This is the one that I've created for you. And within a Trello board, you have lists, which are these. And if I just scroll along, you can see you can just easily add a list. You click on it, type in it, click add list or hit return, and you can add a new list. And the great thing is you can move these around. So if you just kind of get everything out of your head and then want to move it around, you can do that. And within lists, you have cards. So each one of these little blocks is a card. So again, you can move these around. So the idea is the lists are either topics. So if you're storing information in here, they could be different topics. Or in this case, I've created a little workflow for you for your job hunts. So we start off with a list for just dropping in all your information that you might need. So that might be a link to your CV, any references you have, job sites that you go on regularly. That's where, you can drop those. And that you might not move those cards so much, but they're just there so that you can grab the information when you need it and it's all in one place. This list from here onwards is a bit of a workflow. So the intention is you add a card. So let's say, I'm just going to make up a job. Nursing job, Wigan Hospital. I have no idea where that came from. It's the first thing that hospital just popped into my mind. Right. So there's a job going that you're interested in at Wigan Hospital, a nursing job. So you can type that in, and the great thing is you can click in this card and you can attach things. So like here, you can just write CV and attach your CV. And then every time you want it, just open the card and you can grab it. So you could attach the job application in here, any details about the job. You can add due dates if you apply for it and it needs to be the application needs to be in by a certain date. There's also labels and checklists. So there's lots of things you can do within this card. So it's all this information for this job you can have in one place. Now, the other good thing is you can make notes in here. So in this description bit, you can just type and click save. And you can also make notes here. Now this bit is intended for when you're working with other people in Trello, which is a great tool to do that. But if you're working on your own, you can use this little comment section. So this is if you want to chat back and forth with people. But you can use it just to make notes. You might just make a note saying that you applied, you rang them on such and such a date to check something, or you've made an inquiry, whatever it is. It's just so that all information to do with that little job, don't know why it's a little job, that job is within this card. So, and that's the thing. So if you drop in lots of jobs that you're interested in, create a new card for each one. If you decide to apply for them, the intention is you move it over here. And you can then attach, edit your CV, attach it to this card, make notes. Once you've submitted the application, you move it over here, and you might want to set a due date for when they they've said they're looking at applications, just to remind you. You might want to follow up with them. So you might set a due date to follow up if you haven't heard after the application's closed. So you can follow up and just put it over here so that you know that you've followed up. If you get an interview, you move it over here. And you can change these. If this doesn't work for you, click on here and you can archive this list so it just disappears and you can add a new one. So you can rejig this to work for you. You know, this might be a bit overboard, so you might just want to narrow it down a little bit. Interesting jobs, applied, interview. So you can have as much or as little detail as possible. Now, another thing I want to show you, which I think will be really helpful for you, is that rather than typing everything in these cards, because you might be grabbing links off the internet, there's a really quick way you can just grab a link and drop it in here and it'll add all the information into a card for you. So I'll give you an example. So if you wanted to create a card that is a link to a job website, so let me just find one. So I'm just going to, one that pops to mind is Indeed. You might not use that one, you've probably used other ones, but we'll use this as an example. So it's found Indeed for me, and I'm just going to grab the link to Indeed. In fact, better way to do that, I'm just going to click in it and I'm just going to copy the link to indeed.co.uk. I'm going to go back to Trello and I'm just hovering over here and I'm going to, on my keyboard, I'm clicking Control and V for paste. And can you see it's added that link? So if I click in that card, it's added a little bit of information and it's adding a link to that website. So if you want to store all your, all the job sites and recruiters that you regularly look at, you can do that very quickly. So just to tell you again, you just copy it. So I just did right click and copy. I'm on PC. And then when I went back over, I did Control and V for Vixen, to paste it. And I just hovered over, pressed Control and V, and it pastes it. So rather than creating a card here and typing in nursing job, I might have gone to Indeed, found that job, clicked in it, grabbed the link, and then just pasted it over here, and it will attach all the information you need within that card. So that's just an overview of using the board. Have a look around here, or create some cards, have a look inside them, and you can just, that you can move them around. You add extra lists. You might just want to make notes for yourself. So you can add whatever you want. There's instructions here for you to copy the board so you can use it and edit it. So this one, by the time you see this, this will say template next to it. So this is a template and you can copy the board and use it for yourself. So once you've created your own board, nobody else can see it unless you invite them in. So I hope that you find that helpful for tracking your jobs. So can you imagine eventually you'll have quite a few jobs and they might be at different stages of the application process, but you can just step back and look at them all and see where they are. So the other thing I just want to quickly show you is just Trello itself. So I'm going to go up to the main dashboard of Trello. So to do that, you just click up here. As you can see, I have so each one of these is a Trello board. So if I just scroll down, where are we? Nope, not scrolled far enough. Here we are. So that's the board that we've just been looking at. And as I said, by the time you look at this, it'll say template on it. So can you see I've got lots of boards for lots of things. I'd use it for my business, I use it for personal, I use it for everything. But I just wanted to show you what it looks like when you've got a few boards going. So you can have a board for different topics. So you might have your job search one, you might want one for home improvements, things that any projects you're planning, anything you're coordinating, organising, storing notes, anything like that, you can use it. So I just wanted to show you what it looks like as an overview when you start adding different boards. At the moment, you'll probably only have 2 up here, unless you already use Trello. And then when you're in this main dashboard, this is where Trello takes you when you log on. you just click on this little cross to create a new board. So you create a board, you give it a title, and it'll be a blank board. You can then go and add a new background. You can have a different background for each one. You then start adding your lists and adding your different cards to the lists. So I hope you find that helpful, and I hope you know that this is a helpful tool for you and that you enjoy using Trello in general. If you're using it and you have any questions at all, feel free to pop me an email to maria@thedetailsdirector.com, and there'll be a link along with this with the board, a copy of the board and this video. So thank you, and I hope you enjoy Trello.